Then I got the second script and I was like, I can't say no to this. And then they slid this little caveat of like, we'd like you to executive produce too. And I was like, well, I can't.
That's
say,
it.
You can't say no to that.
So what does an executive producer do?
When I find out.
What did she say, Jamon?
She said Ronald maybe.
She said Ronald maybe.
Maybe.
Ronald maybe. Ronald what, from the famous Maybe family? Who the f is Ronald maybe? Ronald!
Ronald, put your weapon down where we can see it now.
Hey, Ronald, look, you know you messed up, right? All right? First of all, you discharged a weapon in a closed structure, okay? That's one. Two, you left Barney down here with his friends unattended. That's a big mistake. It's terrible. We can change this, man. Let's write a children's story that you can tell them when you tuck them in at night. It's called Ronald Makes the Right Decision, all right? So why don't you come down here, put the gun down, and come talk to us like a man? What you think? You hear me, Ronald? Drop back! Hey, drop back! Ronald! Drop back! Drop back! Don't you move, Ronald! Don't you move! Come on down here, man.
Welcome to Behind the Lens. Today, have you ever heard that phrase, star of stage, screen, and television? This guy is the real deal because he's been nominated for awards on stage, Tony Award nomination, on screen, the Oscar nomination he had, and on television now on his third Emmy nomination for Dope Thief. This is Tyree Henry. Hi.
I need to take you with me everywhere. Like, we should just go to different places and you introduce me that way.
Sure, no
That's
problem.
brilliant. Thank you.
But congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. And,
Yeah.
and that's just a drop in the bucket of your many different awards for a lot of things. It seems when you're in a project, I say, well, that guy's getting nominated. You know?
I appreciate it.
Does it feel like that these days? I mean, you have had a lot of praise.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've been very fortunate though to be part of projects that I really care about, to work with people that I really love working with, and so it's really nice when your peers, because I feel like the Emmys and most of these award circuits are peer driven. Like they're like, oh, we really like what you're doing, and so to get this nomination for Dope Thief, it really felt that way.
And what's cool, I mentioned this is your third Emmy nomination,
Yeah.
okay? They're in 3 different acting categories, which is showing versatility.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, it seems it's going up, right? Like 'cause the first one was guest star, and then the other one was supporting, so this is my first lead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Supporting in a guest star in a drama series. That was for This Is Us
Yes.
when you did that.
Yes.
And then supporting was for
Comedy for Atlanta.
For Atlanta. And then this is in lead actor in a limited series, anthology, or television movie.
Yeah. Which I guess is everything mixed into one, right?
Yeah.
Drama, comedy, whatever it is. Yeah.
So Dope Thief is a limited series. Did
Yes.
you know that going in, or was it possibly like maybe we could keep this going?
No, I knew it was going to be that way. You know, when Peter approached me about it, I was a little bit hesitant because, you know, I've been in Atlanta television for quite some time. When it was brought to me, I was filming this series I was doing on FX called Class of '09.
Sure.
And which was also a limited at the time. And I just knew that I needed a break. I was like, TV is like, it just asks so much of you, and then you get so attached to these characters. And when I got the script for Dope Thief, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, is it television? No, I can't do this. But then I got the second script and I was like, damn it. I was like, I can't say no to this. And then they slid this little caveat of like, we'd like you to executive produce too. And I was like, well, I can't.
That's
say,
it.
You can't say no to that.
I was going to mention you are also executive producer, and this is the first time you've been credited as an executive producer.
Yeah.
So what does an executive producer do?
When I find out, I will be the first. No, it was really such an amazing learning experience because, you know, I've been on various projects where I had been doing kind of the role of executive producer, like coming in and giving my input and building character and shaping it. Like you said, I had not been credited. So to actually get the credit, you know, I realized once I stepped into Dope Thief, I was like, oh, I've been kind of doing this all along, except that people really listen to me now. Like, people really listen to, you know, how you feel about, you know, costumes and casting. But it also feels like you're a bridge, right? Like, because not only was I starring in it, you know, I'm also, you know, an executive producer. So I was able to be that bridge, I felt, for different departments and different pieces of the show. So, I could go to hair and makeup and, talk to the crew and like, be in the costume department. I'm also nosy. Like, I'm just a nosy actor. I want to know how I want to know how the sausage is made. So it really gave me, opportunity to really be in there and bridge those gaps. Like, especially if like the producers are on one end and I'm in the streets at 3:00 in the morning, I can be like, well, this is what's going on here. And, and it was great. Like, everyone really came together in an amazing way. It was hard, but so gratifying. Like, it truly like the most addictive thing. Cause I was like, this is so fun to like know that my office is next to Ridley Scott's and like I have his storyboards on my wall and I'll knock on the wall to see if he feels this way and having people come in. And I was really excited about being an EP and getting an office because I was like, I'm gonna decorate this with ottomans and I'm gonna get like bubbles and like I want everyone to feel like I'm the cool principal, you know what I mean? But it was so fun. It really was just the experience of a lifetime to be able to EP and star at the same time.
So does this make you want to go forward with that kind of thing? Like many actors I talk to are genuinely producing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives you that control over what you're doing.
Yeah, because, I come from a theater background, and so in theater, it's all about collaboration. It really is. Like, props to lighting and to set design, we're all in it together to build this universe. And so I feel like it's even better when it's translated into TV and film because, there's so many people that are building this world together. And so now having the opportunity to be an EP, it really gives me an opportunity to stand back and see that and bring the people together that I want to be a part of it. It's I don't know. It's like I said, I don't see going backwards. Like I really want to make sure that I have my name on something that people can associate with what I want to bring into the world and the kind of quality stories I want to tell. And so it's nice to have that and to be able to have that in front of my name now so people can actually know what kind of material that I want to bring out and also what I want to do, the different characters I want to play and the different stories I want to tell.
It's very cool, and you are so good in this.
Thank you.
I'm not surprised at all you got this nomination.
Thank you.
I think Wagner Moura should have been nominated too.
Absolutely.
Both of you are so great in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Of course, he won the Cannes Best
Actor.
Actor.
Best lead actor. I think he's doing quite well, man. I could spend days talking about the ways that Wagner just elevated not just this show, but my life, and that's another great thing about doing what we do is that when you find these souls that are like connected to it in the same way that you are, but also connected to life in the same way you are, it just, you can't help but be changed. And Wagner was definitely one of those people. What we asked of him was no small feat. Like I had a conversation with him on a Friday and he was in front of the screen on a Monday. And so, to see this man jump in there with such abandon and true fear, because what we asked of him was crazy. But the minute that we met each other, the connection was instantaneous. Like we never left each other's side. We knew that that's what Ray and Manny needed. You had these two characters that had been incarcerated since they were 15 years old, grew up in the system together, was spit out into the streets by the system together, black and brown.
Typical of what this story is.
Yeah, and then the incarceration rates in Philly and what that looks like, but also. When we peeled it back, we were like, well, this is a love story, actually. Truly, this is a love story between these two amateurs who are terrible at what they're doing, but just trying to find another way to survive. And we wanted the viewers to feel that. We wanted you to root for them, even though technically they're the anti-heroes. They're not technically the people you should be rooting for. But, because of their kinship and because of their brotherhood and their love, you can't help but be pulled in. And Wagner just brought that in such a way. And I think for both of us, we were looking for a departure, right? Because, here he is known, so famously for playing, the head of this cartel, Pablo Escobar. And here I am known for doing comedy as Paperboy, a rapper. And we're coming together to kind of really completely move that out of the way and show people these different sides of us. It was wonderful. I can't imagine doing it with anyone else. Wagner is brilliant.
It's interesting you said, I'm not going to do television right now, but you just said, I'm known for playing Paperboy on Atlanta.
I can't help it. It screamed at me every 5 minutes. Stop screaming Paperboy at me every minute, please.
Well, that's the power of television. When you do it, You're on, Apple TV Plus here globally
Yeah.
with this, so around the world.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think I take for granted the reach of television
Yeah.
sometimes. I have one of my best friends, he lives in Japan, and I remember going to visit him in Japan, and I was like, yeah, nobody's gonna know me in Japan. I was like, I can do whatever I want in Japan.
Yeah.
And he decided it would be a wonderful idea if we took the bullet train from Osaka to Tokyo. And I was like, I don't know if that, yeah, let's try it. And I just didn't realize how recognizable I was there. I didn't realize what people would recognize.
Well, you took the bullet train.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
in
know,
bullet train.
I know, but you just don't think. I personally just don't think about it.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful, and
Isn't that wild?
It is wild, yeah. And then I also forgot, Japan is the land of Godzilla too. So there was all these different things, and I think for me, I'm constantly just surprised at the reach, and I remember being over there and seeing that Apple TV is there, and you could see the different things for Apple, and I was like, oh wow, Dope Thief is going to be here. And so I remember when Dope Thief came out, I was like, well, I definitely want to hear the Japanese dub of Dope Thief. Let's see what it is. And the actor doing it is really great. But I tend to forget sometimes just the reach of television.
Oh,
and it's
amazing.
so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
And I love that you mentioned Godzilla, because you did two.
I did.
Terrific. I love these Godzilla movies.
Yeah, they're great.
They are so good.
Nothing like Japanese kaiju. It's the best.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Really good. Fun playing Bernie in
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you played a conspiracy theorist, because even since those films have come out, conspiracy theorists are everywhere.
They're running the world, aren't they?
They are, sadly.
They're running the world. I don't think I understood, because when I took Godzilla, there's one movie that came into mind, and it was Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson and I believe Julia Roberts.
That's
is that?
right.
Yeah. And I loved it. Like, I really, really loved that movie. And to look at it now, I was like, huh. And I remember looking at it before we did it. I was like, huh, this is pretty accurate. Like, I'm scared of how accurate this is. But when I got the part of Bernie, I knew that I was a fan of the Godzilla movies. And Adam Wingard, his imagination is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And that cast was so incredible to play with. But I'd always wanted to be the guy that knew what was going on, that literally could be the one to save the world, like if they just listened to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, he's not a crackpot per se, but he's smart. He really knows what's going on. Like, sometimes conspiracy theorists are actually right. And I heard myself say that, and I was like, what? Like, what am I talking about? But yeah, it was fun to do. It was a fun ride.
No more Godzillas?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you also did a Marvel movie, Eternals.
Yeah.
And actually, I think you were the first gay character in the Marvel.
No, because I don't care what anyone says. Captain America and Bucky were lovers. I don't have time for this. That's my conspiracy theory. I was like, they are dating. Like, I don't know. Why won't we just lead into that? But the first
But
opening
that was
game.
like written about, and people said.
Yeah.
How did that feel? You were breaking ground in the Marvel.
It was wonderful because I had been a fan of Marvel for so long, like, and the one thing that I remember is so interesting. The story is I was filming Godzilla versus Kong, and Captain Marvel came out, and I remember taking some of the crew with me to go watch it, and I remember at the end of it, I was like, well, that's it. I was like, that's it. There's no hope for me. And they were like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I just have to give up the ghost. Marvel's never going to have anybody like me up there. I was like, I just don't feel like it's going to happen. And I had literally let it go. I remember just coming to this thing of like, it's all good. Like, I think that there's a formula. I don't fit the formula. It's fine. And then literally, like, I'd say months later, I get a call from Chloe Zhao just being like, we'd like to meet with you. And I'm like, what? And I really thought it was a trap. I was like, this does not feel, and I have this meeting with her, and you see this board of like what they're trying to do, and she was like, we'd like you to play Fastus, and I was like, are you sure? I was like, cool, how much weight do I need to lose? And she was like, none. She was like, we want you exactly the way you are. Like, we want you for that.
Wow.
And I remember walking out of there, and I was just like, I believe I called my manager immediately, and I was like, no, seriously, like, were there like cameras in there? Like, is this like, when is the ball gonna drop?
Right.
But it was such an amazing experience to do something that I, as a fan was able to go up there and portray and to do it my way, and to know that they wanted me for that was just, I don't know, it was great. And it was just so new and revolutionary, and Chloe's eye is amazing. And then you're looking up as an actor and you're like, oh, there's Angelina Jolie, like, you know, like holding swords, and you're on this beach and you're trying to save the world, and, you know, and then I have a husband and I have this wonderful son, and, you know, it was truly, I don't know, it will always hold a very special place in my heart. I'm really glad that it happened.
You're also, Marble, you're in the Spider-Man verse, as they say, with the animated, great movies. One of them won an Academy Award, and the other one was nominated, and the third one should
be coming to fruition soon.
Now,
I can't really say anything because I don't need. I was
going to ask you to tell me.
I don't need Sony running up on me or you to be like, no. But there is an installment that's coming up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the dad is there.
Yeah, the dad is there. And is that fun to do? You've done a lot of
I love animation. Yeah, I love it because it just gives you such a... One, you can dress however you want when you go into the studio. So if you want to wear sweatpants and like a ripped t-shirt, you can.
Right.
But it also really challenges you in a completely different way, because when you're doing animation, there's nothing there for you to act off of except what's on the page. And they're usually animating to what you do. And there's so much freedom. And I think that that's how Jefferson came to be with Spider-Man, because, you know, me and Shameik had this wonderful rapport. Not only are we being asked to finally play the first Spider-Man of color, you know, who's coming from this Black and Latino background, but we wanted it to feel so authentic and we wanted it to feel so real and lived in. And so there's one scene in the movie that it stands out apparently because it's me dropping him off to school. And so when we were filming that, me and Shameik were in the studio together. And so that scene, when I drop him off, is improv. Like when I'm like, you got to say, I love you, say, I love you, like I'll say, I love you, Dad. And they just let us play, and but you never know what they're going to keep. And so when I looked at the movie, I was like, oh my God, they kept that moment. I can't believe, but it was such an important moment because we so rarely get to see that connection between a Black father and a Black son in any movie, like in anything, especially a superhero movie. You don't really get those opportunities. Also, there is a thing that's going around apparently where people love to see me play cops and detectives.
I was going to say, you've got more.
And I was like, oh my God, man, the rallies I've gone to, I should be ashamed. But like, I'm just like, but I also really find it endearing because I always want to get to the humanity side of each character. I want to get to the core of like what makes them do what they do. What was it in this Black man to say, I'm going to be a cop today? Let me go out and like defend the, like, you know, for this system that's so against him. What is it? But also you look in this back seat and there's your son. And then you're also the father to a superhero, which you are also trying to stop. Like, so there's all these different things. So it was so fun to explore that, and not only that, you in Spider-Man, you also have the kinship between Jefferson and his brother, you know, played brilliantly by Mahershala Ali, and like, you know, and so it was really cool to find the dynamics, and that's usually how I approach every character: is who are these men? Who are these Black men that I'm assigned to play? What are their core values? How do they walk in the world? How do people view them in the world? And I always just want the viewer to walk away with caring about them, like really, really asking themselves, like, or saying to themselves, I really hope they're okay. I really hope that, because I feel like every man that I've been challenged to play and fortunate enough to play represents somebody we all have encountered and somebody we know or somebody we haven't encountered yet. And so I just always keep that in mind of all the men that I wish that I saw, you know, growing up, you know, because TV was like my babysitter. Like I was raised in a house full of adults who had to work and had to do. So TV was my thing. Like it really like gave me an opportunity to experience the world outside of what I was living, but I never really saw reflections of me. So it's really nice and really cool to be in this present day where I'm able to create those characters that I hope little me would have seen.
Whether on screen or a voiceover or behind the screen, I have to ask you, before I get back on Dope Thief again, are you the new voice of Smokey the Bear?
I am. I feel like it's a role I was born to play.
You're Smokey the Bear?
I'm the new Smokey the Bear, yes.
Smokey the... Only you?
Only
can you
you.
say only? Can you say
You
that?
am I getting paid for this?
Yes,
I can't
I'll
do
pay
this for
you.
free.
I've got it.
Okay. Yes. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Smokey the Bear, which is kind of appropriate because I live in a mountain now, and I have a Smokey the Bear in my backyard. Like there is a bear a brown bear that likes to traipse itself through my backyard, and I was like, word got out on the street.
Does he know you're a?
I think that's what happened. I think that they found out that I am the new Smokey the Bear, and it's like just this whole thing. But yeah, that's also a dream come true. It's really remarkable. Like I'm always kind of in awe that this is happening because I was just like, we all grew up with Smokey, and I don't know, like it's fun. It really is fun. I enjoy it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So they call you up and they go, "You want to be Smokey the Bear?"
Yeah, and I was like, and I go, absolutely, like way overdue.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
cool.
it. I'm so glad you said you were in eventually to Dope Thief 2 and didn't let him talk you out of that
Yeah.
because it's such a moving show in
Thank
many
you.
ways. It's about loss.
Yeah.
And what this guy's gone through, what both of them have gone through. And we're
Yeah.
seeing the humanity in this story that you don't always see.
Yeah. It did a couple of things for me because one, it was my first chance to be a true lead, which means that every episode was following me in my journey.
Right. So you were number one on the call.
Number one on the call sheet, yeah. And that was such an amazing experience, but also such a great responsibility because, the show moves through me, like my pulse is the thing driving it forward. People are tuning in every week to find out what's going on with Ray, right? And that was something that I wanted for a long time, but also like Ray came to me at the perfect time in my life because I felt like I personally, Brian, had been doing a lot of work on myself, dealing with my own personal grief and my own personal recovery, that when I saw the character Ray, I immediately was like, I think I can help this guy. I was like, because on the page, it seems like he can't be helped, but like I knew for me, I could somehow, I don't know, like guide him. And so from episode to episode, I found myself just falling deeper in love with Ray, like because he was just so lovable and so likable, but just because of his circumstances, we as a society have been told he doesn't deserve anything, like we should turn our backs on him and we should be upset with the choices he's making. But for me, I really saw myself, I saw this man who was dealing with the loss of his mother. I saw this man who was struggling, and battling addiction. I saw this man who was really trying to figure out how to deal with being an inconvenient child, in a way. And I had never seen that, especially no Black character like that ever. And then we kept building from there, right? So then you start building up what the house life looks like for Ray. And he has this very emotionally absent and physically absent father, which I know a lot about personally. And then you have this adoptive mother, played impeccably by the wonderful Kate Mulgrew.
She's great.
Like just the salt of the earth, right? But also she's a white woman, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Why did she take this child on? And then you have this best friend element of Manny, and just all these different things. And I have to give credit first and foremost to Peter Craig, because Peter Craig, to me, is hands down one of the best writers of this generation. Producer, creator, showrunner, writer, just the most brilliant mind.
Sally Field's son.
And Sally Field's child, okay? Like, that's Sally Field's child. So he knows quite a bit about drama, And so I couldn't have asked for a better partner, truly. I could not have asked for a better person to do this with, because I remember sitting down with them and I got the book of Dope Thief written by Dennis Tafoya, and the characters are white. Like in the book, this whole landscape are white men. And I remember going to Peter and I was just like, it changes. Like, this isn't just colorblind casting you have to do. Like, we are in the city of Philadelphia and you are now putting my Black body in Ray. So like, it changes a lot of things. Like, are we willing to have these conversations and really like make it as authentic as possible? And he was totally open. Like, I would work with Peter Craig till the end of the world. Like, he's so brilliant to me. And so he just started crafting based on like what he saw me and Wagner creating. Our relationships were growing episode by episode by episode. And I don't know, Doing Dope Thief, hands down, was one of the best experiences I have had making television. And that's really hard to say because I've had some really great experiences. Like Atlanta changed my entire life.
Yeah, well,
that's my family. So the end.
4 years doing.
Yeah, like longer than that technically because we took breaks in between. So technically it was like 7 years making Atlanta. But they're family, and the great thing about television is you create these families. If you're fortunate, you create these families. You grow with these characters because you are also growing. And so when I was playing Ray, we started in January of 2023 and we went all the way till May. And then there was a strike. Right. So we had to stop and we were only halfway through the season. And so I remember making this decision to stay in Philly because I was like, well, we don't know when the strike is going to lift. I really just want to stay, keep my feet on the earth of Philly. I want to make sure that I'm just still a part of it. And 1 month turned to 2 months, 2 months turned to 4, 4 turned to 7. And that's a lot of life that's going on. And so when it was time to come back, the great thing about this show is that every single crew member, every single person from Crafty to like every single person came back. Wow. Everyone could have gone on and done what they needed to do to survive, which they had every right to do, which they should have done. But everyone believed in the story so much that they all came back. And I think that's the testimony to a great story, a great show, great characters, and also great leaders, you know what I mean? And that was the part that really resonated with me with being an EP because I really care about every single one. I still talk to them to this day, and I felt like that was what was necessary to build the world for Ray because here you have this story of Ray trying to take care of everyone else. And, you know, when Cut was called, I was surrounded by love and compassion and care. And that's how I want to make television. I think that makes great television. I think it makes great stories. It makes great shows. Because I feel like the viewer can feel that. I feel like the viewer can feel, even if it's me and Wagner in the backseat of a truck holding a grenade, you can still be like, oh, they look like they're really taking care of each other. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's what I want. That's what I want to be associated with me being an EP on things, that you know that you're coming to a place that's full of care. Yeah.
Well, you did it, and I got to tell you, and it's funny too. It's got a lot of humor in it too.
Yeah,
I like that about Dope Thief. It was, it's really good. You can see it on Apple TV Plus. You can see him in everything. The way I started this, stage screen TV, Tonys, Emmys. I saw Book of Mormon, by the way, the original. So I saw you in that on stage. So I know
you saw me shoot somebody in the face.
And I've talked to you before about Causeway, which got you an Oscar nomination.
Sure did, yeah.
So well deserved. That was such a beautiful character.
Thank you.
With you and Jennifer Lawrence.
Love
Scene
Jennifer.
At the pool, unbelievable.
Thank you.
And so well deserved. And now this at the Emmys. The only thing is, I'm surprised. Is you didn't get a Grammy nomination for Atlanta, you know, for rapping?
No, because I didn't rap in that.
Oh.
That's the ongoing joke. But I have an honorary Grammy because of Book of Mormon. I'm part of the original cast. So I have an honorary, I have a participant Grammy.
That's it. He's on his way to an EGOT here. This is happening. I stumbled onto it. This is Brian Tyree Henry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you. You're wonderful.